It's about balance, and that's
Definitely
really
balance.
hard. And I feel like that's really hard for women in this field. I mean, I know men, present dads and all that, but there's a different standard for women and moms. I feel like that we're supposed to show up for all the things, have all the things ready, still, bring something to the table. And we are high thriving individuals to where we want to leave a mark on the world, and we want our kids to be proud of what we're doing. And still be present in our marriages and let those thrive and our children thrive and all of those things. So it's always a balancing act.
Welcome to the Your Peak Life podcast. Let's conquer the summit of life and reach the apex of our potential.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Your Peak Life. DJ Julian Rivera here at episode 1722.54. Today, we have not one, but we have two amazing special guests. But, of course, we got to introduce the one and only Mr. Kyle Myers. And we also have Edgar the Sphere Munoz, which is actually really cool because he's going to visit his cousin today in Vegas, the Sphere. So I can't wait to get that selfie when he has like the big one and the other big one next to each other. But more importantly, again, we got to go to our guests that are in the room today. Tiffany, Chelsea.
Hi.
What's up, ladies?
Hey.
How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Perfect. That's the episode. Thanks for coming today, guys. We'll talk to you later.
Right up my alley.
We just want to make sure we introduce you guys and gals.
Yes.
So, Kyle, we know who you are. You're here all the time.
Yep.
Edgar, Tiffany,
Yes.
Chelsea.
Yes.
Tell the audience who you are.
I am Tiffany Weaver. I have been a licensed realtor for 12 years, licensed in Virginia, North Carolina. Started a team with Chelsea last year at the Cape and Coast Real Estate Group. Mom of 3, living life.
Nice.
Yeah, that's me.
Bullet points to the point. I love it.
I know, she's good at this.
All right, Chelsea, you're up.
Let me talk about myself. Hi, I'm Chelsea Axelrod. Been in real estate for 6 years now. Mom of 2 kids, and we are hustling out there in the streets. So, built a team with Tiffany this year. It's been an adventure. So.
Yes.
You know, one thing before we get into everything, we all have kids here. Can we tally how many kids we're responsible of really quick in this room?
Jesus.
I have 5,
2.
7,
3.
10. You had time for this,
God
Kyle.
bless.
Jeez.
No, me. I got a kid every
Top.
month. No, I'm just kidding. 5
Every
total
5
that
years.
I'm actually responsible.
Okay, so 5, 10. You were 2.
Between the two
So
of
we're
us.
at 15.
Yeah.
20
God
kids
bless.
are
In this whole
in this
room.
one room that we're responsible for.
And I'm meeting my grandkids.
I don't want them
I'm
to
leaving
come.
after this.
You're a grandpa?
Yeah.
He's a grandpa.
I'm flying to Reno, not Vegas, to go meet my grandkid.
Oh,
Wow.
I guess you won't meet your cousin this year.
Yeah.
Imagine having 20 of them in here.
We couldn't fit him.
No
No,
way.
and no thank
And the ages, what's the ages?
14, all girls. 14, 8, and 6.
Nice.
6 and 4.
6 and 4. Yeah, my younger ones are about that age.
Nice. And then are you both, we've talked before, you're not from here, right?
I'm from Gloucester.
From Gloucester, you're from VA still.
Guinea.
And what about you,
I'm
Chef?
from the
Not from
Eastern
Canada.
Shore of Maryland.
Eastern Shore of
Yep,
Maryland.
Came here, went to ODU.
Monarch, all right.
Yep, and have been here ever since.
So Thomas, who you guys met a little earlier, he went to ODU.
Yeah.
The alumni. It's crazy how many ODU people I'm
I
meeting
know.
lately.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know.
You have really like 2 choices in the
Yeah,
area.
literally.
Yeah, ODU or NSU. I mean, you got Wesleyan, you got TCC, you got the other
Yeah.
ones, but majority of them, when they come, a lot of them stay. That's one thing I realized too.
Yeah.
And especially when you move here for whatever the reasons, this is one of the places where they say, you know, what was it, Virginia's for lovers, right? But it's also, we come on vacation, leave on probation. Luckily, we ended up staying.
Literally.
And we didn't get the probation. We just stayed and bought a house and started helping other people.
Yeah.
You know, Tiffany, we spoke a while ago, right before you were actually starting your team. And believe it or not, I remember a lot of my conversations to have with people. And you were so motivated to get to that next level, to get to your next peak. You know, everyone has goals. We all set them. And then what happens after we hit that goal? We set another goal.
Right.
Right? Because, I mean, most people, a lot of people get complacent, but we're in a room of high, non-complacent individuals. And we
Yeah.
like to set more goals, small ones, big ones, aspirations. We have 20 eyes watching us to continue to move to get to that next goal. So when you started setting that next goal, what was going through your head? Because Chelsea, you were involved in that conversation, even though you weren't there, by the way. You were a huge catalyst in this one. She had nothing but good things to say.
Thanks.
And she
She's
had
my
bad
boo.
things to tell you on mic,
It's
by the way,
fine.
but she
It's
didn't.
fine.
That's my boo. For me, my next goal right now, honestly, is really to buy back my time.
Okay.
So we're trying to navigate what that looks like for the team and for myself and production and everything, and kind of maybe scaling back my production or, referring it out a little bit and kind of seeing what that looks like. So that's the next goal. And I think Chelsea feels the same way. We're kind
Yeah.
of looking at what that looks like for both of us as the team.
What about you, Chelsea?
For me, I love new construction. I'm a new construction girly. I want to have my boots on. I want to be on a job site. That's always been like a dream. This past year, through connections with Kerbor Homes, I went over to Bico Homes. And so now they're starting some new developments everywhere, and it's fun learning something new, going that way, and then being able to bring it back to the team and like, you know, have a new perspective on all of that. So really the design is like my dream job, and real estate just helped me get there. And then with the team, same, just balancing like the family life, all the things,
The
the
obligations
sports,
of the team.
the kids things, and then making sure we're sitting at the dinner table.
Yeah.
Like the hustle culture is fun and all, but like that isn't us. Like we want to like help our people be at the dinner table.
It's about balance, and that's
definitely
really
balance.
hard. And I feel like that's really hard for women in this field.
Right.
I mean, I know men, you know, present dads and all that, but there's a different standard for women and moms. I feel like that we're supposed to show up for all the things, have all the things ready, still, you know, bring something to the table. And we are high thriving individuals to where we want to leave a mark on the world, and we want our kids to be proud of what we're doing, and still be present in our marriages and let those thrive and our children thrive and all of those things. So it's always a balancing act. It's very, very difficult. And Chelsea's not giving herself enough credit because she designs the bombest,
Oh my
coolest
gosh.
houses. She's doing some right now in Cape Charles. This one called the Tremonti is like this black barndo vibe, very like California metal roof, like just
Cool.
super cool stuff. So she's not giving herself enough credit.
Is
She
that
does-
in the golf course or?
No, it's right before like Tower Hill Estates.
Okay.
So it's right before you go back into town. Yeah, about a mile from there. Yep.
Yeah, well, I think
fun.
having a partnership it helps you out tremendously. Like for us, like sometimes we can't be at events. You know, people have different events they got to attend with the children or the company. I've been to his kids' concerts when he can't show up and I'm dad.
That's so sweet.
That's
It's
so
great.
sweet.
yeah.
That sounded
Like-
sweet, but that was a jab, just to be
So-
clear.
Oh, that was a
Like,
jab?
It
like
happened
having there-
one time.
Taking his wife out and kids to
One
ice
time.
cream. Like
Oh,
it's
Floating
a
the
thing.
bills.
you back up daddy. You
Yeah.
bonus daddy.
Yeah,
He ain't
like,
Bonus dad.
they all love me. So, anyways,
They love
what
Cookie,
I'm saying
just to be
is-
clear. They love your wife.
I love your wife.
Back to women power, right? That's what we're getting at here.
No, but having a partnership, that's the great
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
about it. And also just networking, because there's a lot of stuff that, especially forming a team, like when I got here, I had a team, right? I had 4 agents with me, but it wasn't really a team. It was like, yeah, our name is this, and that's it. And it's like, well, deport licensed? Are you got your EIN? You're running it through
Yeah.
your bank account? I didn't
We
have
do
any
all,
of
we
that.
have all of that.
Yeah, right. But me, this is year 3. It's like I don't have any of that.
Right.
Like, oh, I thought you just get
You
together.
just do it, right.
Right.
You have a team name and you market it, and then you learn to scale, when to fire, and you learn all those mistakes. Luckily, that's where Mike and Eric helped me out. Where it was like, yeah, man, you got to cut the fat.
Yeah.
Do this, do
Yeah.
that. What about the showing agent model? Or what about this, that, or the other? So the team got bigger and then we got smaller, but our production increased, which was great for me because then I got to spend more time at home versus, you know, we went from selling 30 million to 50 million. And it's like my production went up, my income stayed the same, which was great. And then all the agents, you know, flourished. And a lot of the agents now are independent. I was the type that would kick them out after so long. If you were great at production, I was of that belief. I would just
Yeah.
like, hey, man, it's time for you to go. You're doing great. Time to be a solo agent. And then grab the next person. And now at this point, today, I grab one agent, mentor them,
Yep.
and then they go. And
Yeah.
off they go. And the company grows that way for us. So that's one of the great things now. And then for the team aspect for you ladies, what was that first year's goal as far as we want to hit so many transactions or sales volume?
I don't think we really set any goals like that for ourselves. We were trying to navigate it.
Yeah, and really we enjoy the mentorship part of it
Yeah.
and teaching agents, you know, hey, this is these are best practices. We didn't really have that coming in either. So we both were like, we really want to pour into people what we didn't have from a mentorship level. And then also like, hey, we genuinely care about you. It's not just about slinging houses all the time. It's like, hey, you're my friend. We're going to support you. We'll teach you as you go, and just really grow them to be not good in real estate, but just like a good a good person. And like just keep giving, because it's going to come back, you know? So it started out as mentorship.
Yeah. Started off as
That's what I heard from y'all every time it was always like,
Yeah.
I just wanted to take care of the girls. Back
Yeah.
then, when y'all were starting, you know, like, I just want to take care.
Well, they were our
make sure my
mentees.
girls
They
were
were
doing
our
it.
original
Exactly.
mentees.
It's funny how mentorship can, you know, I always tell people to start with mentorship first.
Yes.
Like, just like,
I agree.
you know, shout out to Terrence, right?
Yeah.
He's, start
he's
mentorship
great.
first and then create the team.
Yep.
Because if you do it backwards, it might not work out for either person.
Right.
That person
Yeah.
might not want to be on a team or
Yeah.
capable.
Yeah.
And you might have realized, okay, you know what? This person probably shouldn't be on my team.
Yeah.
So the mentorship is a great transition.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
It's a good segue
But,
into.
Also, just making just better agents, because we're all working with each other.
Yeah.
Right.
We're gonna run across each other
Right.
Yeah.
at one point or another.
Yeah.
But
It's inevitable. We're going to run across from each other. But one thing that you said, Chelsea, is, you know, they're your friends, and you want to make sure you take care of them. I think we can all agree here that sometimes bringing friends in business backfires. And one of my slogans now is, I don't bring friends in business, I make friends in business.
Yeah.
And it's only because I've learned the hard way, and it's a line of respect, right?
Yeah.
And we don't know that until we unfortunately go through that, because we want to see our boys win, we want to see our girls
Yeah.
win, right? But then when we get there, sometimes the vision's not aligned, and we don't know that until we get to that point. So, is there a point now, whereas you've been doing this for about a year, a little over a year now, at least from a team aspect, not necessarily solo real estate, and have you switched kind of the narrative on where you're seeing you're going over the next, let's say, 12 to 24 months from a friendship model, or, you know, bringing people that you work with that you made friends in business, or something like that? Like, where's the pivot coming from when it comes to growing in that aspect?
Yeah, I think, of course, you know, yeah, you're exactly right. You want to help your friends. You want to, like, build this up. I think that it naturally, like, projects itself almost. Like, it naturally, you know, like, hey, come do your thing. If it's not working out, like, that's okay, too. So I think we're at a point where we're kind of figuring that out, to be honest. We certainly do not know everything. So we're kind of, like, learning as we go.
Yeah.
We make that very clear, like, hey, we started this. We're learning as we go. There's going to be things that we haven't figured out yet, and we're going to pivot from there. If it's not working, just be honest with us.
Yep.
So that way we can just move on to the next thing. Like, nobody's wasting their time. We don't want to let you down. I don't want to let you, you know what I mean? Like, it's mutual.
An energy exchange.
Yeah.
Too.
So I think we just pivot quickly. I feel like
We
we've
do
done
pivot
that
quickly when admin, especially admin positions, are really difficult. When we've had some admin positions not work out, we really, you know, worried about it, but then we bit the bullet and let them go and found somebody else. And, you know, now we're trying to, like, outsource our social media and different things like that. So we're trying to find what that looks like. We're not opposed to, like, exploring those different options. And I think the team is actually evolving naturally without us really even having to, you know, do a bunch of evaluations or guiding and things like that. It's just changing as its own. So
Yeah, we'll
and that's
continue
okay
to pivot.
Yeah, it's pivoting, and life is changing. Everyone's lives are changing, you know.
for sure.
And we're just, you know, at the end of the day, Chelsea and I, we just love each other and support each other, and that's really, that's going to be the consistent part. Everything else is probably going to shift around that.
So your consistency, obviously, I'll just call it sisterhood.
Yeah, sisterhood. the traveling
with y'all
pants.
too. So with y'all too, but then you've expanded that energy out to your team, right?
sure.
So then just tell us a little bit about the team, where it's gone, what pivots you've made, and then I want to know how this guy has stayed kind of in your circle after you answer that question.
I know.
It started off, so Chelsea and I were both mentors at a former brokerage that we were at. And I had Rachel Blasky and Anna Marie Galloway were my mentees. And she had Sydney Swope. And so we all just were we had lunch together one day, and we were like, we thought the exact same way about how we do things in real estate and in
And
life.
we really didn't have any conversations before that. We knew, like, we knew
of each other,
but
yeah.
it wasn't really anything.
Yeah, and then we had a lunch together, and we were like, we're teaching these girls the exact same thing. Let's do this together. And then we started, like, you know, going to trainings and doing things together. We would all be on a group chat, and then at that point in time, we were like, we should start a team. And
Are we
then
doing this?
Yeah, we're doing,
doing
this,
this?
and we did it, and
Y'all did it quick.
we
did
did
it.
We did do it quick.
You're a hustle girly.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the thing. If you have a vision for something and you want to put it
Go.
into action,
Right.
just go with it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. You can hem and haw about all the points about everything and pros and cons on everything, but if it's a gut feeling and that you want to try something, just do it. And so we did.
Yeah.
And I think it cost a lot more money than we originally thought.
Amen to that. Okay.
But we're able to do the marketing and like pre-listing kits and our buyers packages and all these different things that I have been wanting to do for the last 10 years, but I didn't have the mental capacity to handle production and all this stuff. So I'm able to do that on a managerial side of things, and my vision is coming to fruition. And my type B, type C is perfect for her type A. She's the spreadsheet girly, and I'm the vision girly. And
She's the colors.
Yeah.
What looks good? Wear this. Do this. Show up here because I'm not a podcast girly, but I'm here.
yeah.
So yeah.
It's been good. And then we had Yvonne Covey join us this year. She is wonderful. She's a wealth of knowledge. She is such a caring person. She's been licensed for 8 years. I think she's going to get her North Carolina license to help me out there. And then we have a new agent, Mary Kovac. She's out in Suffolk, and she's just learning the ropes. And Yvonne's mentoring her. I was mentoring her, but I'm not very busy in Virginia right now. It's all North Carolina heavy. So I feel like I was doing a disservice to her. So
See, that's a pivot.
yeah, so we had to pivot,
Yep.
and that's okay. We have Caitlin, she's admin, and then we just met with somebody this week about doing social media for us on an outsourced thing, so that I don't have to do it anymore because I'm drowning.
It's time consuming.
It's very
Yeah, we outsource pretty much all of that.
Right.
Aside from this raw footage, like I upload it, they cut it.
Yeah.
Or taping it, uploading it, then they would cut it, then whatever.
Yeah.
It was just too much. Since you guys are so young into the team, what is a piece of advice you would give somebody who's thinking about starting a team? What you should look out for?
Let me play that Jeopardy music really quick.
I don't know. I think it depends on what model you want to go for. If you want to have like a
that's true.
production partner, if you want to do full-on recruiting, there's flex teams out there. It really find out what it is that you want to do and be consistent. Really, at the end of the day, this whole business is about follow-up and being consistent.
Yeah.
So just figure out what it is that you want to do and show up authentically for the thing that you want to do all the time.
That's true. Stick to your authenticity.
Yeah, stick to who you are and what you want.
Yeah, you can catch yourself dabbling in things that aren't
Yes.
really for you.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wait, what am I doing? Like, this
Right.
isn't it.
Right.
Like, why am I trying to mirror somebody else?
Yeah, I call that being a busy bee realtor. You flit around to all the different flowers, the shiny, pretty
Yeah.
things. But if you stay consistent and do the things that you're supposed to be doing, you will absolutely thrive, and you will show up authentically for yourself, and for everyone else will see you like, oh, that's Tiffany. She sends me those really great newsletters every month, and I get really cool pop buys from her for the last 12 years. Like, I don't care if you ever bring me any kind of business. They know who I am. They know my name. Top of mind, always.
You know, we talk about branding a lot, and like you are the brand. Like you are the brand. You decided to make your own team. You decided to brand it regardless where the licenses are being hung, regardless where you're selling in the country. You are the brand, right? So then you're staying top of mind. How are you helping the team name now, since you've kind of developed Christina's Tiffany's brand individually, you married together, now you have this. So what are you doing to make sure that that team brand is staying top of mind, just like you guys or just like you guys are in front of people?
I think Chelsea and I are putting our logo, the team logo, on almost everything, and we're really, there are pictures there, but it's the team website, it's the team social media, it's the team logo, and our logo is teal and purple. She's purple and I'm teal. That's been our consistent colors in our own personal branding previously. So I think that's kind of where we've gone with that, where you know, we're still the people. People know that we are the people, but it's not just, you know, Chelsea Axelrod Homes or Tiffany Lindsay Weaver Incorporated. It's Cape and Coast Real Estate Group.
Right.
So
Any pushback that people don't even know what that team is? They just know you guys?
no, I don't think
Yeah, I
so.
don't know. I mean, people do just know us individually, but I think now it's more so like the sisterhood.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's a hard
sisterhood.
merge. I'm going through that right now.
Yeah.
We just did a partnership as well,
Right.
which I like saying partnership because it's actual true partnership.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Not
is.
a
Yes.
team.
Yes.
You can have team members, but like
Yes.
the way, shout out to Rena, we just did that.
Yeah.
So it's definitely very vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because like you said earlier, you were talking about a way to buy back your time.
Yeah.
Giving referrals away, doing this. I closed 2 or 3 deals, and I'm like, okay, well, this was all my money. Now it's not.
Not right.
But then Rena's like, hey, I have this closing. And I'm like, okay, now we're equal. Like,
Yeah.
it's very vulnerable at first, but
Yep.
I think you just have to get over the hump first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's where most people don't jump, is because they get just narrow, like, on that. Like, okay, well, if I lose production, there's no way.
Well, they get
I
stuck
can
on what's
make-
mine.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
mine.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
gosh. Yes.
That's mine. That's
It's
my
so
money.
much more
It's
freeing
a hard
to just
Yeah.
open
pivot,
it up.
I would
Yes.
say.
I'm so glad I made that decision.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
we're
that's-
just free. We talk every day. Like, we just open it up, and it's just been, like, just so glad.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this question, and this definitely isn't going to happen with Rena because she's a dog, she's a beast. But let's just say in this scenario, regardless who the other person was in a partnership like that, a lot of the times we keep score, all right? And we do that in our marriages, in our relationships, in games that we watch. It doesn't
so
matter.
unhealthy.
It's keeping score, right? Because we're selfish. At some point in the day, we always want to worry about us, but as we evolve, we get selfless in some way. But let's just say in that scenario, after a year of doing this, same with you girls, and you notice that you're bringing in 5 to 1. 5 of the deals are y'all's, and 1 is coming from them on a monthly basis. But now you have the data to prove this. Do you keep it?
I keep track of my data.
But do you keep it that way? Are you still splitting everything 50-50?
I think it's if money is the reason why you make this move in that partnership,
The wrong
it's
reason.
probably, and I hate saying that because don't get me wrong, we all want money.
Oh,
Right,
Money
right.
makes it. So I kind of hate saying that, but in this case, I think it's correct because, for instance, I'm doing the part of real estate that I like now.
Which is?
So like, let's say, and Rena's a dog, she might outperform me. So it might not.
She will.
Just to be clear.
Just wanna be clear.
I'm doing the branding, right? So like I'm doing the notes. I'm reaching out to the clients. I'm doing the buffini.
Yeah.
Shout out whatever. The notes, the postcards. She's showing home. She's doing this. I got the blankets ordered. I have this. And then also, it's Friday. I'm doing a podcast while she's showing a client at home at 11.
Right.
Right.
So it's like, what do I value more? So if I look back in that year and I say, dang, you know what? I actually did not have to get my mom to drop my son off to practice.
Right.
I'm not talking balance. I don't believe we had
I don't either.
this.
Yeah.
But I like how you said balancing act because it is an act. So you're not going to be balanced. There's just no
No.
way. But if I can just kind of finagle that time a little bit to
Yes.
kind of get some,
Yes.
then I think at that point it's like, and again, I'm saying that now, right? But I get your point.
You see what I'm saying?
Back in the, a year from now, Rena could be like, Kyle did 10 deals. I did 100. Like, this isn't going to work out. But you learn and you pivot, right?
Right.
But I think as of now, what she wants to do and, her sphere, and then looking back a year from now, I think we're going to do, shout out to Eric. I talked to him before we even did this. He moved to California and
He's killing it.
he's freaking killing it. He 4X his business.
Right.
I think we're going to 4X our business.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to look back from now and be like, geez, why didn't we do this 2
Right.
years ago?
Right.
But
Just because of the strengths.
but you're
But you're right. It's going to be hard, right? If you don't. But that's why you can only do it with people
Yes.
that we're learning.
You don't
that,
need more money. You need
that-
more people.
Correct.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes.
But it's got to be the right person.
Yeah.
Because if you start taking on people that are like,
yeah.
oh, well, I kind of thought this was just drinking mimosas at 11 a.m.
Well, that's
With
the
a-
mistake
Yeah.
I think we all go through.
Yeah.
It's like I did that with some people. Like, you're my friend. Yeah, man, you could do real estate.
Yep.
Right? Single guy, not married, has his own house, doesn't work. This is all he's doing full time, but he's only selling $3 million a year. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
They're getting the same amount of leads. And then I got this other guy who is married, going on 60 years old, selling 15 million, same amount of leads.
It's all about hunger.
It's just the person
and
you
the
pick.
drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the person you
What's
pick.
what is their why? I
Drives
think
me
finding out what their
crazy,
why
yep.
is really going to be the motivating factor as to
Yeah.
why they're doing the thing. You know, I have, for me, I worked as hard as I did to prove to myself that I could do it. I didn't grow up in a great household or anything. I was married previously. That didn't work out very well. And so I wanted to prove to myself that I could do this, and I absolutely have done it. And now I'm ready to watch birds and plant flowers and go to
thrift.
store shopping.
Go to the beach.
Go to the beach, like but also the scaling part of it. It is I'm ready to let go of some control, but it's so hard for me to people who like, know, and trust me to give them to someone and
Yeah.
be like they're going to get the same level of
Yeah.
of
Yes.
care that I'm going to provide. And so finding those referral partners is very difficult. I would love to have someone great on the peninsula to help me with my Gloucester people, because that's my hometown, you know. And I
Guinea.
yeah. So just finding like someone out there to help me with some showings and things like that. And I know a lot of agents out there, they're all wonderful, but you know, at that point they're going to say, well, why don't you just give me the client? I'll pay you the referral fee. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah.
I want to just have a showing agent,
Yeah.
you know, like a new agent that's willing to just for $50 a door, you know, go make some extra bread.
And that kind of, just to stem off, that's kind of a better answer to the question you asked, I think, because now I know, and I think Rena knows too, I hope we're on the same page here. Looking forward to taking care of you. It's the Lux Anchor Group. You know,
This is
me and
our
Rena will be
group.
showing you homes, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And it's spin-off. She's got 2 listings up on a referral that I didn't even go check, right?
Yeah.
That I was just reaching out to the clients, and her old clients, then we're getting one. So I think a better answer too is when you meet somebody who's, you can wake up and say, I know Rena's doing this.
Yeah.
And it kind of equals out. It's like having 2 people in one day.
It's great.
Yeah.
So I think that's a better answer to your question. I like that better over like the measurement of the numbers, because now I have 2 people. Like I'm 2 people now, right now.
That's true.
If I can answer that better.
Well, the one thing that all of us do is that we always lead with intention. Like we don't try to do something like, oh, this is going to fail. Let's do it anyway. You know, no one ever goes like that. But it's one of the things that the ebbs and flows of the business, and a lot of the way that the business changes over the years too. We have to pivot in some way. Sometimes it's controllable, sometimes it's not. And I'd love to debate this, but I feel it's shifting to a buyer's market personally. Case by case basis, some houses still fly off the shelves because we're a top 25 market in the country. But I've been seeing this shift a lot more because I'm having bomb listings sitting longer. Like they're banging. When I'm having ones, I'm like, they're probably gonna sit forever, and they fly. I'm like, I never could have predicted that with all the research I did. And I have no idea. But
So weird.
one fun stat, and I was on my city council or city commission meeting yesterday in front of all these people, and we were featured. Mike shared this, and he actually put this in my brain. Good Morning America a few weeks ago. They featured the top 5 most affordable cities for
Chesapeake
first-time
is
home
number
buyers,
1.
and Virginia Beach is number 2.
Isn't that crazy?
I know. I never would have thought that. And then I go
Right.
down a rabbit hole just trying to see any other sources that are saying that. It's more than one people saying that. I'm like, interesting. But they didn't link it to any specifics other than like the affordability, right? It's not, they didn't link it to military, they didn't link it to tourism, history, none of that stuff that I always lead with. So now knowing that we're in a market that is just rocking, you know, we're in a rock and roll market right here. And this kind of includes North Carolina because like it's so close to us. We got to use that. So knowing that we're heading there, we're intentionally growing in a way that we want to have a team of 100 people, 3 people, whatever. What are we intentionally doing to ourselves to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves so we can go to the beach, so we can go thrifting, so I can go and make sure this MFer right here isn't at my daughter's recital when his daughter's there and he happened to be there anywhere because he had to be. So it's not like he wasn't going to be there anyway. Shit like that.
Just
You see what I'm
put
saying?
that
Like
out
what intentionally?
Party number 1.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This freaking guy.
I'm working on it. Like I'm working really
it's a
hard on
work in
trying.
But what's one intentional thing that you're doing? Like just like narrow down to one thing that you know is always going to be a work in progress, but you're intentionally focusing on.
Oh, I'm in a lot of therapy, and
that's
I do therapy and like Reiki.
She's on a journey.
I'm on a healing journey.
Okay.
You know, something happens when you hit 40. I'm 41 now, but like when you hit 40 and like everything just shifts, you know, and your focus changes, and so we are healing. We're healing baby Tiffany in here, so that's been something that's been really major for me the last 2 years or so.
Good. And you have talk. I do the same thing. I have a psychotherapist, Sandra DeWan. He's a beast. But I'm telling you this right now. It's something to be said that you can talk to somebody that gives a shit about you but doesn't give a shit about what you say.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Like, whoa, I thought that was whack. I thought it was stupid. But like, no. The older we get, I'm 41 as well. I'm like, I can say what the fuck I want right here. I don't give a shit.
Because
This is
he
my
doesn't
time.
gain. He's not gaining anything from
No.
you. Like
Right.
you can't.
That
like,
is so true.
So like, I love my husband. He's amazing. But if I say something to him, his original thing is going to be like, how is this going to benefit my time with you, or how am I
Yes.
going to gain something? From
Shout
you?
out to Shane.
Yeah,
I know.
we do
We
love
love you,
Shane.
Shane.
Shane's amazing. But like, you know what I mean? Like if you have these conversations with people, sometimes they put themselves first, you know, with what their response is going to be. And so if you go to a therapist, they don't give a shit
They don't
about what's
care.
going. They just want to have you talk and kind of help you piece through what's going
Navigate.
on here and help heal you and do those things without having any kind of ulterior motive.
Correct.
And so
There
I
you
think
go.
that is the game changer there. But that's what I'm doing. I'm in a lot of therapy right now.
See,
It's
but
funny though, you take care of yourself and you just said your business in North Carolina is going crazy.
It is.
Absolutely.
So it's funny how that works out when you
It
finally
does.
start
I'm in the car a
taking care
lot,
of
which is
yourself.
great. 'Cause there are lots of quiet time, lots of podcasts
Yep.
and audio books, and lots of lots of go-giver and unreasonable hospitality, lots of books going on. So we're doing all kinds of things.
You know, it's funny you said that. I'm a DJ. I love music, and I don't listen to any music
I don't
when I
listen to
drive
any
around.
music anymore.
I know,
Unless it's
saying
like
it's
Fleetwood
quiet.
Mac.
I mean, I listen to podcasts, self-help, growth, and stuff like that because we are a product of what we program and what we listen and watch. And we've always been like that, but the older we get, the more we realize, crap. And then we see our kids listening to some bullshit, and we're like, what are y'all doing? Like, no. And then they get mad at us for us being, not mad at them, we care about you. And it's the same thing our parents did to us. We just don't want to see you go the same route we did. And if you can start younger, you'll be in a way better position than we are once you get older. And I mean, the one thing that we can't control, though, is hair loss. So the one thing that I have to understand is that if we understand that we can try to prevent that by going to Turkey and getting hair plugs, we won't be in the same position that Edgar's in.
We go together, bro.
I mean, we can, to be fair. But
you don't give yourself enough credit for how much is lost up there.
But typically,
like from here, it looks like I'm coming up on an island. Like I've been
He's
stranded
going
at
down
sea.
the boat. He's go.
But
oh
you
my
See
God.
it? You see it? Like I see land.
see, the
I'm on
problem
the-
is,
Look at it.
look,
I'm
but
on
if
the
you look at
side.
his, I don't know
Look
how
sideways
you ever
and
heard
you
of the
look like the
cul-de-sacs?
predator
He has
right
two
now.
of them right here, but it's bald, and I don't know how you can be bald with cul-de-sacs.
Look, my husband's been
bless.
bald since he was 20, and that's
Look,
okay. It's
He said something.
okay.
He said
Kyle's
something
over there
earlier,
like,
which
I
was
don't have
gonna
that
make a joke
problem.
about. He was like,
I have the complete opposite. It's annoying.
yeah. He said something earlier. He was like, I remember everything we talk about. I was like, of course. Look at like all them gigabytes you got.
It's okay.
Behind that forehead.
It's all good, brother.
I'm
It's fine.
dead.
To be fair, my head is actually bigger than his. It's crazy with a hat, but
Yeah, he tried to be
that is
funny.
true.
He took
I will
his hat
say.
off like to put it. I still had like a whole.
He did. I'll give
was
him
like,
credit on
damn.
that. I'll give him credit on that.
It's because your brain is so big.
It's just, I mean, I retain more
Yeah.
information than you. And
He's
English
been
is,
holding thoughts his whole life.
and
Like,
English,
you can tell.
but English is my first language, so I appreciate that.
You two need couples therapy.
Yes, y'all need therapy.
Just saying, if we're on a therapy topic, right
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
you
we're-
two
But
definitely need.
You know, it's funny. A lot of our positions, and people don't know this, is that outside of like realtor, we have verticals of titles, and therapist is on there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love
It-
that.
it really is.
Absolutely.
How many times have we had to sit down and just talk the client off the
Guys.
edge, or talk? I don't want
Talk
to use
to your
it.
agent.
Not
Yeah.
convince them, but like this is a good thing for you. You probably
Yeah.
should do this when they're
Yes.
talking themselves out
Every
of
day.
it. Like, tell me an example.
Yeah.
Like, I know this has happened to all of us in here. While you're thinking, I'll go
Yeah,
first.
go.
I had a short sale that was perfect for a young 24-year-old Marine, and we ended up closing on it. It was great. And short sales take a while. If you don't know that, it takes months most of the time. But I was dueling this one, and that was not the intention, to be fair. I was trying to help him get out of a situation. Beforehand, we started, you were talking about another agent in the area is trying to push you to get into more investment sides of the world because it's very beneficial for us from a long-term perspective, from a retirement standpoint, right? And I'm heavy into that world myself. And I'm like, I tried to get it for myself, but the numbers didn't make sense. But in my mind, I'm like, this makes perfect sense for somebody to live there and to do the renovations, which is like 10, 15 grand. It was nothing. It was easy stuff, like floor, paint, and that's really it. And maybe in 5 years, a roof. But and it was under 400 in Virginia Beach in the cul-de-sac, all closing costs covered and everything. He's like, I don't know, man. I'm like, bro,
Do it.
the other
I wish
houses
I
we
could
were
do
looking at
this
in
way.
Norfolk, you need to do way more work. You're
Yeah.
paying your own closing costs.
Right.
And it wasn't in a cul-de-sac in Virginia Beach in a
Right.
school district. They don't have kids. It doesn't worry about it. Your girl's job 7 minutes down the road. Long
Yep.
story short, he got into it, but it took the short sale takes a minute, but it's like a minute of being a therapist too over the months because he was
Yeah.
talking himself in and out of it.
Yeah.
And he's awesome. I love this kid. Like he's super happy he's in there right now because I feel I gave him the power to know that you got to think out of the box and that in the next 5 years, you're going to make you're already making money.
Yeah.
There was a $30,000 equity buy-in that you were getting day one in its current shape. So it's like, buddy, I'm telling you, it makes sense for you. It just doesn't make sense for me. And here's why.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're a good agent, you're doing this with every client. If you're a good agent,
Yeah.
you're doing this with every client.
Yeah, because sometimes you have couples that are just like not on the same page. You're therapying them through that, and then you have like honestly, some of my favorite is like a single woman who's kind of like scared to like do anything. Do you know what I mean? They're like, well, we don't really know, so like, can you talk us through? Like, I love breaking it down, like numbers, like, hey, look, even if you just keep this house for a little bit of time, this is your return. You know what I mean? Like, I love just taking somebody through like the investment part of it for the long-term wealth. Or like somebody will say, well, we might outgrow it. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to give you another perspective. Like, keep this for your family. You're fine. Go to the next one. Rent this one out. This is generational wealth here.
Right.
Like
House
this is a
hacking.
perfect, yeah, exactly. This is your kid's college fund. So like being
Facts.
able to give that to them, kind of falls in the realm of
Yeah.
therapy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I'm
It's
dealing
like-
with parents right now.
Yeah.
And they flew in this past weekend. The kids flew in from California. They're flying. The parents flew in from Georgia. And talk about mindset, right? I'm already like, their parents are gonna fucking love me.
Right.
Like I'm already saying this, right? Because early I was like, the
Yeah,
parents,
yeah.
you know.
Yes, yeah.
And sure enough, we hit it off. The great parents, he's prior military, this, that, and the other. So we already connected. But I could already see it. The kids, they want to buy something where they could put some sweat equity. So
Yeah.
I get it. I was like, that's not a bad deal, especially right now. The parents, they want something move-in ready. So I could see it in their face when they had a list of homes. So I purposely scheduled, shout out to her because she watches the podcast actually. Mom had a list of homes. So we're going to go see your home first. And that's how I scheduled. Then we went to go see the kids.
Yep.
And I could see it in their face. Like, just like, this one's not that nice. It's going to need a lot of work. Long story short, we're under contract on a home, $295, comps are $400.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you got to live in this house. So even after we went under contract, he's kind of thinking about it. I was like, what do you expect? They priced it $100,000
Yeah.
less.
Facts. Yeah.
$100,000 less.
Yep.
I was like, I told you guys this before we got into this, that you have to be honest with yourself because I see this happen. Oh,
Yeah.
we're going to do this and we're going to remove the wall.
Yeah.
I was like, be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
How much are you going to budget?
Yep.
You're going to have a HELOC. You could use a HELOC down the line. So you'll have money. The home inspection went great. Nothing wrong with the house except for like one little minor leak. And that's it. Parents are okay with it. I also, and that comes down to our resources. Before we close, we're going to have the contractors go in there, quote them out so
Yep.
they'll know exactly
Exactly.
what they could fix
Yep.
immediately or
Yep.
that needs to be addressed immediately. So that kind of puts them at ease. But now already, again, they're sitting on a $400,000 house and they intend to live there for, let's say, 4 years because of their orders, their military orders. They're going to be sitting well.
Yeah.
Yep.
It puts you in an equity position that you can just really take that chunk of change and make it work for you, really. And I'm an investor. I have investment properties. Like real estate is honestly the best thing that you can do. You buy.
How many you got now? Sorry to
Well, we just sold the
Got
2 in Hampton, so I
farmhouses?
have 3. I have
Okay.
3, and we run them as short-term and mid-term rentals.
Nice.
They're hotcakes flying off the shelves, so it's going good. But the 2 in Hampton changed their short-term rental laws at the end of the year, and we did not get approved for a permit, so we had to actually sell them. But we actually did okay. We got our we didn't own them for very long. And we were able to get back our down payment and everything. So we didn't make any money, but we didn't lose any money either. Which
Yeah.
is, to me, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I think a good agent too, you guys are all talking about it, to be honest, is just stepping through it as if you were the person doing it, right? Like, hey, if it was me, I would buy that house.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's exactly how you described. If it was me, this is what I would do. And just giving, like, the power to them to make their own decisions. But these are the facts here. And, like, this is the situation we're in. But I think both of us, and you guys too, like, if you're a good agent, you're doing it as if you're buying this for your family. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yep.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to sell you any, and I tell people that I'm not going to sell you anything I wouldn't buy. Period.
Facts.
So, take it or leave.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't
I'll tell
live
you
and
my
die off your
honest,
deals,
right?
what I would say.
Exactly. So, like,
I'm okay. Let's go keep looking.
correct. So,
And there's freedom in that, like
Yes.
not for us to have that financial strain.
Yeah.
And then just to kind of go and do what's best for everybody.
yep.
That just is so comfortable, right?
Well,
Like,
you can smell the
here's the
check.
question
You
for
can
everybody
smell
in the room.
somebody
And I
who
think
needs a check.
everybody goes through it maybe their first year, depending on how their production goes. But you get to that point finally where you get to that crossroad finally where you're like, you have that one client that's finally like, I can't work with you. You're unreasonable. You're not just doing it because you need the money or anything. You get to that point finally where you're like, that was it. I'm done working with you. You finally fire a client.
I have, yeah.
Do you guys remember that client?
Oh,
Damn
yeah.
right.
Dang.
I just had
I
another
haven't
one
fired a
recently.
client.
Not my first one.
Have I wanted to? Maybe.
No, I have.
I-
I
Yeah,
have.
good for
And,
you.
and there was one. I'm sitting out. It was a
Yeah,
military
that's too
client.
bad.
I would pick him up from base because he didn't have a car. He had just got here.
Oh, yeah, that's
Driving me crazy.
too much.
I'm standing there pumping gas in the rain by the gate.
You had
over
enough.
there, Oceana. And another agent, she was at a different firm at the time, and she's like, "Hey, is this Edgar? Yeah. How you doing? I think we're working the same client."
And he was in your car?
No, he's filling
he
up his
was
gas
not yet.
to get to him.
I was filling
pick
up
him
to go
up.
pick him up, and she tells me, he's like, I'm showing him the same houses you're showing him in the afternoon. Weird. And I'm
No
like, really?
shit.
We've already wrote like 2 different offers. She's like, yeah, he was gonna write one, and obviously he's using the same lender. So she told me, she's like, are you sure? Because he's working with Edgar. That's how we found out.
Yeah, interesting at the gas
And I was already
station.
kind of tired of the guy. He was kind of
Right.
running me ragged.
I don't think I fired a client to answer that because I think I fire them before I start working.
Same. I'm
Yeah.
like, no.
Well, that's
I never
Literally
get,
same.
I think I've been a good judgment
too.
of like, they're like, yeah, we're doing
Well,
it. And I'm
this
like,
is-
well,
Me
hey, this is
too.
going to work. Oh, well, no, that's not what I'm, okay, well, my first
Well,
recommendation.
this is
Say-
shot that,
this is
so.
what I will say. This is me just learning on the fly versus
Yeah.
having that mentor
Yeah.
or a
Yes,
for
coach
sure.
Fair.
So
to have
true.
told me
Fair.
you should be doing those buyer
Yeah.
consultations, right? It's not just, oh, you're
Yeah.
pre-approved? Yeah, let's go start looking.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
That's fair.
Like all these things I was missing in my business
Yep.
Yeah.
beforehand. Now
Second nature.
I don't have to fire him. I could just say, hey,
Yeah.
I got this client. Do you want to work with him, agent?
Yeah.
Here's a referral
There
fee.
you
I'm
go.
going to give you a heads up.
Yeah.
This is what you might have to deal with.
Yeah.
Good learning lesson
And it's
for
up to
somebody
them.
else.
But I mean, that's also, there's a level of empowerment that not only, I always say how many lives can we impact? And it's not just by putting bread in their pocket.
Yeah.
There's so many other definitions of success.
Yeah.
But you doing that, right? That learning lesson, glass half full, half empty, is half full because now you're passing. It's not a problem. You're passing on another situation that will not just put money in their pocket. They're going to learn from, and they're not having mad
Yeah.
business right now.
Yeah.
So that's also a dope thing to do, and to be in a position to do that, which we
Yeah.
all are.
Yeah.
And whether it's a team, whether it's a brokerage, that's a blessing, bro. And that's also
Absolutely.
lessons that we've learned to want to be to a level of where we've, let's just say, evolved to.
Yeah.
So I had the same situation with one that it was great. They didn't close on it. They want at the end, like an hour before closing. Like, bro, are you serious? Got talked out, parents, the whole scenario, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. I handed him over to somebody else. I don't want to work with him, but I know it wasn't him. I know it was his family. I know it was
Yeah.
his wife. Everybody that was not involved in this thing since day
Exactly.
one. I'm like, all right, well, I'm not going to do that, but I am going to take my referral fee because I definitely put some bread into this and not
Yes.
outside of my time. But I also know that agent A will do great for them.
Yeah.
And 2, they need the business. And 3, he needs more assistance, and I know he wants to get a crib. So it kind of knocked out 3 things that as we evolve and we learn,
Yeah.
the only thing we can do is get better because we're also
Yeah.
therapists to our agents too.
Yeah.
Literally.
Whether it's on the
And in
team
your
or whether it's the brokerage.
That's where therapy comes in the most for me now. It's not even just clients. It's with, being partners, taking that on. But it's something I do like.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to call any names, Natalie. It's definitely something. It's something we enjoy, and I appreciate that people do
Call
want
her
to reach
out.
out to me at this point.
There
Yeah.
is
Because you
some
kind of
pleasure
got to
in that.
forget if someone's reaching out to you,
They
they
trust you.
really trust
They
you.
do.
Yeah.
They
They
do.
really
Yeah.
want you to get your 2 cents.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I thought that's always good. And there's therapy. Sometimes you are the person who needs the therapy. So
Facts.
you got to be. That's
You gotta take care of yourself.
we've always gotten along like that from the beginning because it's always been like
We're
a
very real.
natural,
Yeah.
real. Like you can shoot an idea and there's no. What'd you say earlier? Like there's no
Judgment.
like first.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm.
You're not thinking about
doing that.
yourself first.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
out there, and it's like that's what we've always.
You've been
like
you've
that.
been that for me. I have called you about the team. I have called you about different brokerages and things like that. You have been that for me. So
Appreciate that.
I appreciate
Maybe say
you.
the same
You are a wonderful friend. and
No.
I
Tiffany,
do
appreciate
carry very
that.
much of that.
Teardrop.
I gotta go back.
I know, Neil.
No, but it's been good. That's why I think the more you can realize that people aren't just trying to take advantage of your time.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we get so busy and we're like, man, I can't answer that right now. But then you got to realize like there's somebody that needs some help on the
Yeah.
other end of that. So even if you slow down at the end of the day and go through your text and like, hey, look, I'm sorry, I'm busy, but did this get handled? Try to
But that's the weird part about this industry here. It could get lonely
quit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like we literally do the same thing every day.
Yeah.
Yep.
We all work on the same deals on opposite sides to get to the same goal. It's like, why aren't we having more of these
I
conversations?
think it's all
or-
mindset. It's all this. It's no one is looking at it as a collaborative,
Yeah.
as an effort,
Yep.
And I think people are really just out for number one sometimes, and it's very unfortunate because there's so many of us that really do need the love and attention and support of each other. 12 years in the business, I'm finally now getting to the point where I have a good group of people around me. It took a long time because there are people who just really don't give a shit,
Yeah.
and they want they want your database, or they want to know what
Yeah.
you're doing. They want some of your
Yeah.
special sauce.
Yeah.
Like I just show up for people authentically. I want to be able to go to sleep at night. I don't have any drug problems, or I'm not alcoholic. Like I'm in therapy. I'm very well adjusted. Like I just show up for people and treat people the way that I want to be treated. And I think that there's not enough of that in this industry where people just really collaborate together. And there's a few people. There's some outliers.
Yeah, there is. There's quite a few, and I always try to stay in touch with those people.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny to me, even like if they make a mistake, and I was like, hey, just so you know, this is what the contract states, right? And it's like they get so angry and they let their emotions get the best of them. It's like I'm honestly trying to help you for the future.
Yeah.
Like I want to work with you on this, but just so you know, this changed here.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're wrong right now.
Yep.
Yes.
And they want to stand their ground.
But you have to be able to say, yes, I have paid for generators. I have paid for washers and dryers and fences because I made a mistake. And I'm okay to say, I made a mistake. Is it going to hurt my pocket? Absolutely. But it's the right thing to do.
Yep.
Yeah, the right
Always
thing to do.
err on the right thing to do.
And that's where they're like, I'm a non-realtor, right? And it's like the realtor, non-realtor. And it's like, we're still doing the same thing.
Same thing.
That is a whole nother argument on that side.
Yes.
Right now we're in this transaction right here, or right now we're helping people.
Yeah.
That should have been a thank you.
That
Dang, thanks, man. I've been moving too quick this week. I've been busy. Thanks. I appreciate you putting that.
Yeah.
Everybody
Let's keep it
has
moving.
mistakes.
Yeah, that
Right?
should be a thank you.
It comes down to collaboration really happens at the top. That's the problem. And it's like 90% of the business is done by 10% of the agents. Remember when it used to be 80%, it's done by 20%? And just because it's not the industry compression, it's more so who's really doing it and who's really not. Because there's a lot of people that say they are not. And we've all had that imposter syndrome in some way, shape, or form. I know I fucking did. Out of everybody in here, I think I'm the newest one entering my 5th year. But I've been in the game and business for a long time. So it's like when I came in here last year, ironically, one of the memories popped up on one of the old podcasts, and I'm like, dude, I'm past that now. Like, I know that I'm meant to be here in this space because everything I did before this shit led me to be here. And a lot of the stuff in the entertainment industry is extremely comparable to the real estate industry, from contracts, from showing up, doing what you're supposed to do, delegating, getting everything. Like, there's so many comparables that I can just write a book about, but it's doing the same shit just with a different memory. I'm not doing your wedding. I'm helping you with your house.
Doesn't it feel good to find your place and to like know where you are on the right journey?
Damn right.
Like, it feels so good.
But the only reason I was able to do that is because of COVID.
Yeah.
Because it forced me to stop. Because my industry stopped.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't go do a party. I wasn't doing DJing on TikTok and shit. I didn't know what else to do. But the thing is, before COVID hit, that was already my plan. So it's like I literally retired corporate America January 31st, 2020. And what happened a month later? Boom, we got smacked. But it was all 7 months planning to get into that spot. Like, I pre-planned to do this. So I was like, well, fuck, I got to do it now. Like, I ain't got nothing else to do.
Time to roll.
Luckily, I wasn't stupid with my money, and we were fine we were fine. But I told myself to do that. So I just took all my energy and shifted into this. And now I'm fucking stream head right going. Everything's rocking and rolling. But they're like, people are like, why are you still DJ? I'm like, because I fucking like DJing.
Right,
like,
I
what?
like
Like,
it.
what do you mean? Like, why do you still drive a car? Or like, why do you still breathe, bitch? Like, you have to do it. Like,
that's who
want
you
to do
are
it.
at your core.
It is. I
You love
enjoy
that.
doing
Yes.
that. It's sometimes that's my therapy. Seriously, I'm up there. I'm just vibing. That's literally what I like to do. And
A lot of that is shock too, though. A lot of people ask those questions because they don't know how you do it. So it's not like, why do you still DJ? It's like, man, how is he doing all
Yeah,
this?
I wanna know when you sleep.
That's the real question they want to
Doing
ask.
all the things.
The real question is, man, I have been wasting my whole day away scrolling, and this man can still DJ.
And
No,
sleep
seriously.
and
They
sell
want-
some
like
houses.
it's a lack of confidence. I mean, a lot of those questions you can read the other way and take as compliments.
That's a good point. That's
why
a
are you still
valid point.
DJing? Like, I know what you really want to ask.
Right.
You know, you won't say it. You know, you like be humble, stuff like that. You're definitely. But at the end of the day, it's like,
Well, I have a goal.
that's a test. Yeah, like I'm still,
have a goal.
I choose not to sit around and, binge watch the Netflix series.
I don't
That's why I
want
still
to.
DJ.
Been there, done that. I don't-
Maybe on a Sunday
Right,
you can
been
afford
there,
and you
done
choose
that.
to. But
Yeah.
But like to your point
Anyways.
too, like, and before we even started this and walked into this room, he's like, you've been doing a lot lately, and that's the social media perception that I like to go out there. But the one thing I don't want people to think is that I'm too busy for them.
Yeah.
That's what I'm fighting now. To be honest with you, it's almost those things like, well, shit, well, that's why he didn't answer his call. He's doing this or whatever. Like, I live and die by my calendar, no matter what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So if I've had like 4 calls while being here, sorry, I'll call you back, but that's just what it is. But I also, you don't want to be too accessible to everybody as you're growing
that's a
in your
mistake you
life.
make at a younger
Yeah.
part of any career.
Social media,
Yeah,
everything
it's being
everywhere.
too accessible.
That's
because then
what it
you
is.
get the back burner of it is, man, am I am I not answering fast? Like you just said,
Yes.
now am I too busy? You're not really too busy. You're just actually communicating at
Yeah.
a normal level at this
I
point.
don't really
You're
respond.
so
Not
right.
just
That's so right. Right off the gate.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well,
So
I
it's
don't
pretty-
really
it's
respond
pretty
to text
funny.
messages and phone calls past 8 o'clock unless I'm in like deep negotiations.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I
Yeah, yeah.
I see
Yep.
it, but I'm
Respecting
really
your time.
Yes, I'm really quick to put some boundaries in place, and then in the morning I will respond.
Yep.
Now, unless it's like a dire situation,
Right.
you know.
But that's definitely learned because as
yes.
a new agent, you're like, no, I got to do it
No.
right now.
Yeah.
And you
But you
see
kinda
it as
have
like
to,
a
though, right?
mentor too. You're like, nobody dies in real estate. We're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
If you respond in an hour, it's going to
It's
be
gonna be
okay.
fine.
You know
I was
what I
even
mean?
embarrassed to tell people what I was doing. Like, oh,
Right.
I'm gonna go to the beach. So I can't go.
You
right
can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like, no, I'm gonna go with my family.
Correct. Absolutely.
Hey, I'll be gone this
but
week.
it's learned. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
I got
learned.
this other-
It's so
yeah.
true. It's so,
So
hard.
But
to
the
do that.
but the
Like,
thing is, you have
trying
to
to make up a lie, and it's like, no, I'm actually just with my family.
Yeah.
Right.
but you said this earlier, and we just have to say this. We're all in this room in a position right now from a financial aspect that if we didn't have that one client, it's okay. Not saying we don't want to serve to the best of our ability, because we are. We will. But it's one of those things. It's like if you're going to make this seem like this is a life or death situation, when we know it's not a life or death situation, and you need to go find somebody else to make you feel and validate that feeling, the buyer broker's turned up. Bye.
Yeah.
See you later.
That's
Like,
a you problem, not a me problem.
Correct. Exactly. Like this, I'm trying to tell you this because you know, like, and trust me, and you take our opinion based on our professionalism and what we've done. I promise you, this can wait until tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight up. This is why we don't close in a house in 7 days.
Correct.
Or
I
2
ha-
days.
And I haven't had my ringer on in probably a year and a half. And that's
Smart.
Yeah. It's
a game
been-
changer.
Man, that's been major.
Silent
no
mode.
notifications on my phone. That's it. Man. And everyone's like, you don't know when you get a Facebook message? I'm like, I'll check it later.
I check
Like,
my phone so much, I'll never miss an emergency.
I know, and
so
that's
why
a-
not keep it on silent?
And that's a learned behavior. We have to
Yeah.
stop doing that. But
Well,
you
why
know,
not keep it on silent and take advantage of it? You're right.
I'm-
Because
and
I
that-
check it so much, there's no way I'm missing an emergency.
Yeah.
Because I'll look
Yeah.
at it again.
Yep.
So I might as well just not hear it.
Right.
And I have a present spouse. So if there is an emergency with my kids, they will call Shane and he'll take care of it. He's a fully capable man.
If you are, if you're thinking about like what your next peak is going to be over the course of the next 18 months, let's just say the end of 2026, you had another goal. We're mid through 2025 right now. By the time this comes out, what would you think that next goal would be? And I'm starting with Chelsea on this.
Yep.
Ooh. Honestly, I would love to like have a Class A license
Okay.
and start building some
Nice.
stuff.
Dope.
I grew up, my dad's a builder in Maryland, so I've been around it all. My favorite part is like stepping on sawdust. So like being in the framings, seeing it come together, like being able to like take all that we've learned. And we've talked about doing it together, you know what I mean? Just that is kind of probably the next step for me, just from like, I love it. Like it's my favorite thing.
Class A. that'd be
And
cool.
then I know. So, and I like getting dirty. Like, I'm sure we dress up and do real estate and stuff, but like, I love being on a job site.
Me too.
But I think in terms of like, growth for Tiff and I and like Cape and Coast and the team, it's really just learning the boundaries, like the time boundaries and stuff, growing that, being comfortable. I mean, that's probably a goal. Just,
Yeah. I think the model for the team, like showing agent versus production partner versus, just you and me and like one other agent. We're totally open to all the things. So for me, I would love, I've bought really crappy houses and completely renovated them and kept them, but I want a fall down
Yes.
shit house.
Shit house.
And I want to completely gut renovate it myself.
Okay. Yep.
I want to restore the floors and the fireplaces. I love Elizabeth City. Like, there's so much happening down there. I would be down there in a heartbeat.
Yeah, you want to get dirty too.
I want to get dirty too because I'm not gonna say I'm a dirty girl,
I know. We
but
know.
I love that. That's what I love.
Yes.
I dress up nice and everything, but I like being in the dirt. I like power tools.
Yep.
I love my power tools. So like that's the kind of thing that I like to do, and I feel like I haven't been able to do that lately. So, yep,
Well, I love it.
there you go.
Ladies, thank you for being on the episode today.
absolutely.
Thanks for
Thank you.
This
having
was
us.
fun.
I
Yeah.
know.
It's good to see y'all.
This is fun.
It is. Kyle was like
Thanks,
super
Kyle.
excited to have you guys on. I mean, I was too, but like that's your boo thing. So I was like, he was like super
We're just
excited.
real estate's
been
just
cool.
bonded us
Yeah.
over time.
Yeah,
Her
it's dope.
husband's great. It's just been good.
Yeah, and Shane got his real estate
He
license.
called me the other day.
Hey.
He called me the other day. So
He wants to
up.
start doing showings for
Yeah.
people. So.
Well, ladies,
Oh, sounds like you find your showing age. Gotcha.
I know,
But
literally.
he's not North
Her
Carolina
husband.
licensed, and he
Her
doesn't want to go to the
husband.
peninsula.
There was an agenda and all.
how can,
There's an agenda.
how can they? How can we find you on social media and everything else?
Yes. Cape and Coast Real Estate Group on Instagram, Facebook. CapeandCoastREG.com is the website. And just slide up in our DMs.
Yep.
Slide in the DMs like Gucci Man said. All right, Tiffany Weaver, Chelsea,
Thank you.
Kyle Myers, Mr. Sphere over here, DJ Julian Rivera. Follow, like, subscribe, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, the whole 9 yards. Thank you for tuning in again today. Your Peak Life Podcast, episode 1 million, trillion, 2 billion. See you later. Bye.
Trillion to
See ya.
billion.